Collector's got the show. Disney treasures you need to know. Auction time, you'll never find another. Mickey, Donald, Goofy, what a wonder. Bookmarks your dreams in a flip of a page. Cheap Comic Collector set the stage. Step into the world of magic and lore. Own a piece of history, explore more. You won't believe the treasures in store. Go and live this Saturday, so don't ignore. Auction time, you'll never find another. Minnie, Peter Pan, they're calling brother. Bring a smile with each bid you place. Cheap Comic Collector set the pace. Tick-tock, the clock is ticking, don't be late. Set the alarm, don't hesitate. Disney Magic's waiting right on cue. On YouTube, where dreams come true. Auction time, you'll never find another. Bid, enjoy.
Hey everybody, welcome to Cheap Comic Collector. Today's our first $3 start auction. It's going to be all Disney comics, as you saw in the preview there. Hey Sandman, glad to see you. Thanks for being here. And yeah, I don't really know what to expect from this. I don't really have any expectations, so we'll see. I know there's some Disney fans in my audience, so we'll see how it goes. You know, that's about all I can do. So, yeah, if in case you hadn't heard, the Saturday show's now in auction format. We will have a mix of books starting next Saturday. It's just that I have these two long boxes of Disney comics that are basically pretty much mint, and yeah, we'll see how it happens. So I may end up, just mixing them in with the other books and so on and so forth eventually. But because of the auction format, I won't be able to show as many books as I normally do, because I normally during the claim sale I'll lay down 5 comics at a time, and it's pretty quick, so this is more relaxed. It's just going to be, we're going to go through the books like we normally do, talk about them a little bit, and so I can't get through as many books in that format. So we're gonna the Sunday show, tomorrow's show, is also going to be an auction. That'll be an ongoing thing from now on, where the Saturday show will be an auction. The Sunday show, starting at noon, will be an auction. And then after next week, we'll start the daily videos Monday through Friday back up again, and showing boxes of comics. That will be a $2 claim sale, where you can claim in the comments. So hopefully it all works out, and we'll see what happens. But Quentin, thanks for being here. Random, thanks for being here. Appreciate that very much. Don't expect the regular audience today just because of what we're doing. So we'll see how it goes, and yeah, we'll get started here. I'll just switch over to my other camera since time is of the essence to get as many books shown as possible. And we'll see how it goes. There it is. Oh, the camera got off center somehow. There we go. So I'm going to start with a few of the books that were in the preview there. We got Mickey and Donald, number 14, the reprinting the classic cover that actually inspired a lot of the America on Parade stuff, and that they did during the bicentennial year. This cover was actually from 1945. It's by Walt Kelly. This one's actually not as flat as it should be. It's got a curve to it a little bit. It's got a little bit of a roll that I didn't see just looking in the thing. But reprints a Mickey Mouse story from number 64, Sneezing Burrow of Mystery Mesa. And it's got some Donald Duck stuff in it too after the Mickey story. Donald Duck from Walt Disney's Comics and Stories 71. So that reprint's a pretty early one. So yeah, it's definitely rolled. Don't think there's too many like that in here. I think pretty much they're mostly mint, but that one does have a roll on it. Let's get rid of that tape. I had a terrible tape snag yesterday that really upset me. And hey, Ranger, good to see you. Thanks for being here. So yeah, $3 starts. If anybody wants to, go ahead and bid on anything, they can absolutely do that. Next up is Walt Disney Giant #1. Scrooge McDuck in the Yukon. And this is this was when Gladstone, for a little while, they did paper covers, right? So it's not a slick cover, it's a paper newsprint cover made out of the same material the pages are made out of. They did that for a little while to cut costs and try and keep the cost down. I don't think it really worked for them very well. But it's got the Don Rosa story, Scrooge McDuck, Hearts of the Yukon in it. Always, Don Rosa's always worth picking up. Got an article in the back too by Jeffrey Blum about the Klondike and how that's used in the story. And there's a backup of Three Little Pigs in the Mounties. This is by Chase Craig and Gil Turner. It was a reprint from 4-color number 218. And Random Reeves wants the Giant, so I'm going to give that one to him. I'm sure if anybody else was interested, they would have bid by now. So let me get this one out of the way. And let me start my new format of keeping track of people's books here. Everybody gets their own notepad. So Walt Disney Giant #1, $3. And thanks to everybody who've paid this past week. I've pretty much cleared the decks. There's only a couple people who didn't get around to paying, and that's fine. There's 6 or 7 people I haven't gotten around to shipping their books out yet. I ran out of packing material, but they should get out next week. Hey Matt, welcome, my friend. Thanks for stopping in. And then this one is Mickey Mouse number 219. If I remember correctly, this was the first issue that Gladstone did of Mickey Mouse. And great cover, no spine ticks, just gorgeous copy. And it reprints the 7 Ghosts storyline from the comic strips that were in newspapers back in 1936. This is probably my favorite Mickey Mouse story of all time. This is the one that, when I picked up this issue on the newsstand, I was first introduced to Gottfridson's stories. I think I had read some of them prior to that in the old book that was in the library that reprinted a bunch of those, like Best of Mickey Mouse book. But I had never read him in comic book form like this before, and it just blew my mind that Mickey was this good. Reprints some Sunday pages in the back. Just a wonderful book. And we we got Goofy Adventures number 9 with the James Bond cover. His name is Goof. James Goof. There does seem to be a little bit of tanning on the edge of this issue. On this on the spine side, just a little bit. Yeah, you see it more on the back. But never mind that. Wow, that spine split almost all the way down when I opened it. This is kind of brittle. So nobody's gonna get this one for $3. I'll put it aside. But these are a lot of fun. These are great fun. That's disappointing. I hope there's not too many. I hope the rest of them aren't like that. Hey, Diabetic Superman's in the house. Hello, my friend. Thanks for being here. And this one's DuckTales number 5 from the Disney series. So this one's actually based on the cartoon. This was when Disney was publishing it. And I think the first 12 or so issues was actually a continued story called Scrooge's Quest. You can see this is chapter 5. So, but these were fun too. If you were a fan of cartoons, I enjoyed these. You know, it's not the Carl Barks stories, but yeah, the TV series was based on that. It wasn't that, so they're a fun read. These might not be as in great a shape as I thought they were. The pages seem kind of yellow in there, but we'll keep going and see what happens. They look good in the plastic. Maybe I should stop taking them out. This one is Donald Duck and Mickey Mouse number 1. And again, this is a paper newsprint cover. It's not, that's how they were. That's how they made them. So you don't necessarily find them in that great a shape because they don't survive as well with the without the slick covers. This one reprints a story from Walt Disney's Comics and Stories in 1957. Carl Barks. Pretty much every Gladstone issue that Gladstone did had some Carl Barks in it. And then it's got a Mickey Aladdin story. I think back in the 60s, 70s, somewhere in there, Disney Studios created this series of these type stories, and then just basically put them out there so the different comic book publishers around the world could use them. And that's, yeah, they're a little fun. They're different. And this is one of my favorites. I actually have this one on my wall signed by Carl Barks. This one is not signed by Carl Barks, but it is a 64-page giant. It's Donald Duck Adventures number 28. It uses one of Carl Barks' oil paintings as the cover, and that's illustrating the story in time inside, which is Donald Duck and Sheriff of Bullet Valley, which reprints the story from 4-color number 199. That's how early it was. I want to say 1940s. Yeah, 1948. And it's a great story. It's a lot of fun. So when Donald Duck and the nephews are in the West, and Donald's the sheriff, or thinks he is, or something like that, and it's just it's a fun story. It was before Scrooge was invented, basically, so he's not in there, but well, a great read, just a great read. And it's got a not so great story as a backup, The Pirates of Ashkanistan, from Donald Duck 156. I believe that's what's his name? Oh, it's not who I thought it was. It's by Bob Gregory, who's, yeah, just, it's those sillier stories that came out later after Karl Barks was done, that just were never quite as good. Got the Beagle Boys disguised as seals, and so forth. So, and then there's another little backup story in the back too from Donald Duck 44, which that may have been a Sunday page. Oh, nope. It's from Donald Duck 44, 1955. It's Paul Murray doing a Donald Duck strip, who's normally known for Mickey Mouse, so it's different. And we got this one, Donald Duck Adventures number 23. And this one's got a slick cover. And this one is a European reprint, I believe, from... Oh, it's not saying. It's by written and drawn by Marco Rota, who's pretty famous, but I'm not seeing a code on it. Denmark. There we go. It's from Denmark. So Gutenberg's group would have originally published it. It does have a Don Rosa cover, which is cool. Not one of those that you see very often. So, and it's basically Donald Duck as a Viking type character. Fun stuff. Yep, you certainly can, Diabetic. Anything you want, let me know. It's $3. I don't really expect anything to go over $3 out of these books. So, I mean, you never know, but it doesn't seem to be the case. Donald Duck Adventures number 21. Another Don Rosa cover. Great stuff. So, look at the gators. I love the expressions on the gators. It's just like, oh, we're having duck to dinner tonight, boys. And it reprints Secret of Hondorica, which is another Karl Barks classic. Love this panel here. Just fun stuff. I really need to dig my copies out and read them all over again. So much better than a lot of the stuff I read. And it's got a little Grandma Duck backup. So cool stuff. Diabetic Superman's going to grab that one. Thank you, sir. And then we have Donald Duck Adventures number 18. Another Don Rosa cover. Illustrating a Karl Barks classic, the No Such Varmint story. And so this was originally printed in 4-color 316 back in 1951. And again, this would have been very early Donald Duck adventure stories by Karl Barks. So Uncle Scrooge, I don't think, was around yet at that time. Oh, no, he is. He is in here. But you can tell it's an earlier version of him. Love the sea monster. No such varmint. Great, great books. Makes me want to, paging through them like that makes me want to just sit here and read them. All right, Diabetic Superman's gonna get that one too. Thank you. First Scrooge was 1947. And here's another Donald Duck Adventures with a Don Rosa cover, illustrating a Karl Barks story. This one is Donald Duck Adventures number 8. And it's the Crocodile Collector. And oh, I'm sorry. This is not a Karl Barks story. This is a Don Rosa story. I remember now. I got it backwards. The cover is by Karl Barks, and they needed a story to go along with it, and so Don Rosa created the story to go along with the old cover that Karl Barks had done. Yeah, I got it mixed up. But yeah, this was a lot of fun. You get to see Uncle Scrooge's zoo again, which was in a earlier Karl Barks story as well. And they go on a quest looking for where they could get the alligator skins or something that had this certain emblem on them, and eventually, of course, find this hidden temple and get in trouble. Such fun stuff. And then there's a Karl Barks, early Karl Barks backup. This runs from Walt Disney's Comics and Stories 81. And Diabetic Superman would like that one as well. No competition. So basically a $3 claim sale. Thank you. I appreciate it. And another Donald Duck Adventures. This is number 1. The very first issue. And don't know that artist off the top of my head. Dan Yips, yes. Did the cover. And the story, the main story, is reprinted from the Netherlands. Was originally used by Oberon Publishing. It's done by Ben Verhagen as the artist. And I liked those when they came out. When they would come out, they didn't use those very often, but when they did, they were a fun read. Very much an adventure story in the style of Karl Barks, a little bit. A lot of fun. Then the second half reprints a rare Karl Barks story, Jungle Hijinks, from Summer Fun number 2. And looks like Random Reads is going to get that one. Thank you, Kevin. And let's see, then there are some digests in here too. Not sure about the condition on these. I haven't checked these out, so they look pretty solid. Not much in the way of stress. A little bit on the back. I don't know if you can even see it on the camera. I can't. Not much. And this is number 1, the Walt Disney Comics Digest that Gladstone did. These didn't run for very long. They were fun, though, because it gave them the opportunity to print other things besides Karl Barks and Floyd Gottfredson and so forth. So, like in this one, they have the 3 Caballeros by Walt Kelly, which is cool. So, just various stuff. Got a Mickey Mouse story, 7-color Terror, which I believe was from a 4-color issue. Yeah, number 27. That was from. And it's a little wolf, some Grandma Duck, and then you got the 3 Caballeros by Walt Kelly, which is, yeah, they just couldn't really print anywhere else because it was so big and long, and it wouldn't really have sold because it wasn't Karl Barks. So, a lot of rare stuff in these that are fun reads. And Diabetic Superman's at $3 on that one. Thank you. And then you get the Mickey Mouse number 1 digest. And basically the same condition. It's maybe actually a little bit better. I don't see any stress at all on the back on that one, a little bit. So about the same. And this has, this doesn't even feel like it's ever been opened. It's got, the other one opened all the way. This one's not doing that. So, Mickey Mouse and the Mystery of the Double Cross Ranch, Goofy, Phantom Blot, Pluto, Mickey Mouse, Goofy. So Double Cross Ranch was from Mickey Mouse One Shot 313, so that would have been 4-color. Again, nice long stories that they couldn't really put in the normal issues. Goofy is just a Donald Duck backup strip from Donald Duck 89, where he was a backup feature. And then Phantom Blot, it actually reprints the Phantom Blot story from Phantom Blot, New Adventures of Phantom Blot number 1, which was, yeah, longer. If I remember right, there was no ads in that issue, so it was a little bit longer, too long for a regular comic. And then a Pluto story from a Walt Disney Comics and Stories issue, and a Mickey Mouse story from Mickey Mouse number 64. So they had to put it's Mickey Mouse Comics Digest, so they had to put the spotlight on Mickey, of course. Hey, Aaron. Nice to see you. Thanks for being here. So Diabetic is getting that one for $3. Thank you. And if there's, if there's anything you guys want to check out, if there's a title or an issue number you're looking for, I can look real quick. I've got both boxes alphabetized in each box that it's in, so it wouldn't take me long to check for something if there's particular issues that you're looking for. Donald Duck Comics Digest #1, same deal, really nice condition. Just, a few little stress marks, but not really any spine ticks. Just just what happens when you open this type of a book, basically. Great cover by Carl Barks. It's pretty sure that's by Carl Barks anyway. They didn't really do cover credits in these, so. And this looks like it's mostly Donald Duck. There's a little Chip and Dale and Junior Woodchucks in there, but got Donald Duck and Too Many Pets from Donald Duck 4-color 29. Junior Woodchuck story from number 19, or I think it's 19. Yeah. Probably was written by Carl Barks because he wrote a bunch of those. Just says artist unknown. That the other Junior Woodchuck stories by Carl Barks, but he didn't draw them; he just wrote them. Donald Duck 86, Rustlers at Midnight, Chip and Dale from Walt Disney Comics and Stories issue, Gyro Gear Loose. There's the other Junior Woodchuck stories that Carl Barks wrote from number 6. And Donald Duck 86. So, and another Chip and Dale and another Donald Duck from 89. So, basically a lot of Donald Duck that wasn't really Carl Barks. Here's another Carl Barks one, The Hard Loser, also from 4-color 29. So, they wanted to probably save most of the Carl Barks stuff for the regular issues. So. And Diabetic's getting the Donald Duck. Well, actually, on these books, there was such a huge mix-up in the order because they didn't send me a third of the books at first. I had to demand the rest of my books. That I had to go through everything to see what was here. Because I had ordered, it was part of a 600 book order. So it was just, it was kind of a messy. I don't know if I'll ever order from Hip Comics again. They've had too many problems on there the last few times I've ordered. Donald Duck number 249. This is from 1987. Front cover by Dan Yips. And another, this one's from Holland. It's written by Volker Reichs. And that was a fun story too. I liked some of the European ones, especially the ones they printed when they were first getting going, like these. And then you got it says Donald Duck and Hoblin' Goblins, Donald Duck number 26. I believe this is if not the first appearance, it's one of the first appearance of Gyro Gear Loose. You can tell he's kind of fat compared to how he was drawn later. But it's also kind of a Halloween story. And then this is the first original story that Gladstone did in their titles. This was a fan story that by Marty Grime, which they went ahead and bought and purchased. A lot of if the art looks a little weird, it's because he basically swiped all the poses from Carl Barks stories and just created them into his own story. And it was a pretty good read. But the art's a little off because of that. But it was fun. It was fun to see a news story. And then, of course, once they started doing Don Rosa's, they started doing other news stories and stuff as well. So, but fun stuff. Hey, Vilma. And Diabetic Superman's interested in that one as well. Donald Duck, number 249. $3. And I'm just gonna I'm just gonna randomly pull stuff from these boxes. I started off with some of the stuff that I had in the preview. And like I said, if anybody wants to looking for specific titles or issues, let me know, and I will grab them real quick, and we'll go from there. Mickey Mouse Adventures number 13. So these were original stories. This is when Disney was publishing it itself in the 90s, right? 1991. This is from. And they had continuity. They were trying to do continuity. It somewhat worked. I like the first issue of this series is fantastic read. After that, it wasn't as good. You can tell they put a lot of effort. Whoever wrote that first issue, if I remember right, it was Stefan DeStefano, the same guy that did Amazing Man for DC on that first story. But definitely a different, kind of a different take on Steve, a more modern take on Mickey and Pete. And then, yeah, they put reprints in there as well. So, but all of these are just, they're so much fun to read. I just tell it like it is. I have a very huge appreciation for Disney comics. So, here's Mickey Mouse and Friends number 295. It's a Christmas cover with Donald and Mickey. And honestly, the biggest appeal for this series usually was that Donald and Mickey were together on the covers most of the time. So there is a couple little spine ticks in there. There's some stress. Looks like it's split right here. So these may not be as good a shape as I thought they were. They look really good just sitting in the plastic, but there's a little damage, I guess. Firestone giveaway reprints the very rare giveaway from that Firestone did back in 1945. Every year they would do a Christmas giveaway that would have a Mickey and a Donald story in it. So that's what these are from. That's what this is from, anyway. So there is a Christmas story in here of Mickey that, honestly, you would probably never be able to read anywhere else unless they do a collection of them or something. There's a Donald Duck story called Christmas Eve Caper. This one was reprinted from Denmark. And there's another Mickey Mouse story in the back, which is, I don't know what that code means. Huh, okay. They stumped me on that one. And you can probably hear my mom calling me, so I will be right back. All right, I'm back. Sorry about that, guys. I'll have to leave in a little bit again to go help my mom again, but we can get a few issues in. Until then, wow, somebody wants his Christmas cover. Vilma 3, Ranger 4, Vilma 5, Rangers at $6. Cool. Cool for me, anyway. Imagine Ranger's going to get it, but we'll give Vilma a little bit to respond and see if they want it bad enough. And I guess not. So we're gonna go ahead and give that one to Ranger for $6. Thank you. And next up we got Uncle Scrooge Adventures number 31. Don Rosa cover. I animated this one this week, but it didn't turn out real well. But I did post it. It's part 2 of the Lentils from Babylon. So let's see, number 31. Let me see if I got part 1. No, if I do, it's not in the same box. But this is a story by Romano Scarpa. I don't know if I say these names from other countries correctly or not. I apologize if I do not. But he's a very loved creator in the European market for Disney Comics. And then you got a little one-page gag in the back here, letter column. Kevin likes him. And we're speaking of Three Caballeros earlier. This is Walt Disney Comics and Stories 583. And it's a nice Three Caballeros cover. And I believe it reprints that same story, but it looks like they split it up because this is part 2, it says. So yeah, in later years they would do that, and this is a thicker issue, so they could have put it all in one issue, but they didn't. But I guess that took the place of the Donald Duck story, this issue, basically. And then you got Jiminy Cricket from a 4-color comic. And then Mickey Mouse and Sky Island. And in this instance, instead of formatting them for the comic book format, they actually went ahead and started printing the strips as the original comic strips as they appeared. So interesting, and still a super good read. Although you do have to handle the comic oddly in order to read it sideways a little bit. But good stuff in here. And it's thicker. Yeah, it's a thicker issue. So. Yeah, William Van Horn's good too. And here's another Christmas cover. Donald Duck number 251. Got a golf club in his stocking. Tape don't want to come off. There it goes. I can check. Let me check. So this has got Donald Duck story from Denmark. And it also has a Karl Barks Christmas story towards the back. Yeah, it's another reprint from the Firestone giveaways. This one's from the Donald Duck story from 1945. And then a story from Holland as well. Okay, so we're looking for the first part from Walt Disney Comics and Stories. So do I have 582? And yes, I do. Assuming that that's what's in here. It should be, since the other one was the second part. Great cover. The Mickey there. Little spine tick there. And yep, there it is. First part. And reprints some of the Silly Symphonies comic strips from 1935. The Robber Kitten. Those are fun. They have these movie wheels you were supposed to cut out of the comic strip page and put on cardboard, and then you'd stick a pin in the middle and basically spin it around while looking it through it, so it would look like it was animated. I got Baby Pete. That's weird. Disney babies. Forgot about that. Little Bad Wolf. And some more part 1 of the Sky Island strip reprints. And Ranger wants all 3 of those. Anybody else interested in any of those? All right. And see what I can pull from the other box here. Donald Duck Adventures number 34. This one's got Super Snooper Strikes Again by Don Rosa. So, yeah, Carl Barks did a story where Donald drank some kind of energy drink or something. I forget what it was. Something he shouldn't have drank, and it gave him superpowers. So this is kind of a spiritual sequel to that, called Super Snooper Strikes Again. So Donald gets superpowers once more time, but in a comical way, not like later when they tried to do a more serious take on the Disney characters as superheroes, but very much in the tradition of what Donald Duck should be. And this one is I'm not familiar with that code either. Art by Vicar, Can Crazy. He's also a celebrated Disney artist. And a little Christmas backup there with Grandma Duck. And that one's by Al Taliaferro, who was mostly known for the Donald Duck comic strips, I believe. I do have digests left. Yes, I can pull them out and show them to you. Hey, Iggy Pop. So Diabetic wants this one. I'm sure if anybody else wanted it, they would have bid by now. So we're going to go ahead and put that on their list. Number 34, $3. Higgy, you should be getting a package from me today, so keep your eye out for that. And here's another digest to Ogle. I gotta go check on my mom. This one's from Gemstone, so this is a later series. All right, so this one is the later Mickey Mouse series. Gemstone came back with another series. This one actually lasted longer. They were a little bit bigger, so you could see the art much better. And if I remember right, these printed mostly European stories. They didn't have the rare. I mean, they were rare for this country because we'd never seen them before, but they didn't have the like the rarities the original digest line did. But I have some more of those here too. So there's not a lot of them, but there's a few. So cool stuff. It's number 7. And let me start you a list. Sandman Mystery Comics, as Aaron says. And Mickey Mouse Adventure Digest. 7 and $3. Thank you, Jim. And I do, I didn't get a chance to respond to your message yesterday. I do need your PayPal address. Nope, don't have it. And I'll just grab the digest I do have here. And we can go through them. Oh, they're hard to. Actually, they're because of the way they're in the things. They're kind of hard to pick up. Don't want to come out of the box. This one's Uncle Scrooge number 5 from the original Gladstone run. So this is some of that rare stuff again. I think there's a lot of Carl Barks in here. Front covers by Carl Barks. Carl Barks, you have Hawaiian Hideaway, and that's it for a main cut story by Carl Barks. So they were trying to print other stuff other than just Carl Barks in these. But Hawaiian Hideaway is a good story. They go to Hawaii. It's the Beagle Boys. And run into yet another race of little people that Carl Barks liked to put little races of little people. There's 3 or 4 different ones that he put in his stories. And there's some Beagle Boys reprints and Uncle Scrooge and Junior Woodchucks. Gyro Gear Loose, that's another early Gyro Gear Loose from Uncle Scrooge 13. Which is rare because he's got Morty and Mickey's nephews, Morty and Ferdy Field Mouse there with him. So that's unusual. And that is, wondering if that is by Carl Barks. So yeah, so that might be the only time Carl Barks actually drew Morty and Ferdy, for all I know. I know he did 1 or 2 early Mickey stories, but I don't think before he got known as the Duck Guy. But I don't think they had the nephews in them. I'm not sure. Anyway, it's all reprints, so kind of mood anyway. But fun stuff. And out of the Cow's Inn, hello Kirby, how you doing? So yeah, that one's gonna go to Sandman as well. Uncle Scrooge Digest number 5 for $3. And another digest, Walt Disney Comics Digest number 4. And Carl Barks cover more than likely, yep. Mickey Mouse 1-pager by Paul Murray. And I got a Donald Duck story by Carl Barks. And then Got classic feature Robin Hood is the main story in this one. So you got Donald Duck from Walt Disney Comics and Stories 100. Little Bad Wolf story. And Morris the Midget Moose from Silly Symphonies number 4. That's kind of cool. Grandma Duck story from Walt Disney Comics and Stories 158 with Minnie Mouse and Grandma Duck and Gus Goose. Scamp story from an old Walt Disney Comics and Stories. And Mickey Mouse and Peter Pan from Silly Symphonies number 7. There he is. And then you got Robin Hood, which was not the animated version of Robin Hood, but a adaptation of the Disney live action Robin Hood, which most people nowadays have never seen, or if they did see it, it was a long time ago. So fun stuff. And Sandman's gonna get that one too, looks like, for $3. This is number 4. And then we have another one from the later ones. This is Mickey Mouse Adventures number 1. I think this series went 12 issues, and then the Donald Duck series, Donald Duck Adventures Digest, went for I think 21 issues. So that one went quite a bit longer than the Mickey Mouse one did. But again, they were slightly bigger, so you can see, and they're much easier to read than the little Gladstone ones. And Donald Duck's The Mummy. I don't remember that one. Some cool art. But again, it reprints like all European stuff that we'd never seen before in this country. So they're fun reads, if for no other reason than that. And this is they did a series in Europe of Goofy as Indiana Jones. They called him Arizona Dip, and that's what this is. That's what one of these is. And Diabetic Superman got that one for $3. And this one's the Mickey Mouse Adventures number 5. I personally have complete sets of all of these. They're actually sitting here on my desk. That's how I knew there was 12 and 21 issues that fast. They're actually sitting right next to me. So same thing, pretty thick, nice. Cost $7.95 when it came out in what was it, the 90s, I believe. No, these are later. This one is from 2005, so that makes more sense. But basically, just a pocket-sized graphic novel, fun reads. Although honestly, I did get a little tired of reading these. I was picking them up because I was getting everything Disney, but they basically, all the European stories were being translated by one writer, and so they all just kind of became the uh, same kind of feel to them, if that makes sense. But they're still good reads by themselves. It's just that if I tried reading them all in a row, I would get a little tired. And Sandman's going for that one. Mickey Mouse Adventures number 5. Thank you. And this one's, again, the original digest from Gladstone. This is Mickey Mouse number 3. And this one's got this one's got a little bit of wear. You can see the corner wear on the back here. And then up in here too, there's a little bit of a color breaking thing going on there right at the top. So a little bit of a blunted corner or something going on up here. Other than that, it looks pretty good. Maybe some color loss on the back, just in general, because I see a deeper color orange over here. Let's see, number 3, 1987, front cover by Paul Murray. And got Bill Wright, Jack Bradbury, Tony Strobel, Paul Murray, and another Bill Wright doing the art chores on the various stories that are in here. The big feature this time was Mickey Mouse's Family Album, which is, I think it looks like it reprints all of the stories from 4-color 1057. Which is, the family albums, photo album things. What they would do is they would have a series of stories in there, and they're basically, every panel starts with them looking at a photograph, and then they start to tell the story behind the photograph as they look through the family album. So they did that for Donald Duck and Bugs Bunny and a lot of different characters that Dell was publishing. Pluto story in there. And Phantom Blot meets Super Goof from Phantom Blot number 2. That was kind of fun. I remember reading that. I actually have a hardcover that reprints all of the Phantom Blot issues from Fantagraphics. So happy wife, happy life. I'm going to Sandman. And then there's another Donald Duck one. This is number 1. Did I already do this one? Wait a minute. Yeah. Okay. So Diabetic Superman already got one, but there's another copy. So didn't realize I had 2 of them. So same thing as before. Basically, looks about the same shape. So I won't show it again since we already showed it. But Sandman's giving it up to Vilma. Thank you, Sandman. Mickey's easy to draw. You just, the way I do it with his face anyway. Um, you start with the nose, go like that, go like that, go like that. I mean that's a quick version, but you get the idea. It's he's pretty easy. I mean, if you took your time, you could do a better job. But I always like giving him pupils so he looks crazy. But all right, this one's going to Vilma. Ooh, that's their first purchase today. So let me get you a list started. And we have another Mickey Mouse Adventures. This is number 10. Cool, Star Wars kind of cover there. With lightsabers. And it's got Mickey and Donald on there, so that's always cool. It's a fun time when Mickey and Donald get together. And yep, Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck, may the farce be with you. So they're even in a story together. You can see got the Star Wars cosplay going on there with the blue Yoda or whatever that is. And let's see, looks like Mickey's Luke Skywalker and Donald is Han Solo, judging by their clothes. Oh, come on, give me a Darth Vader. I want to see Goofy as Darth Vader. Oh, there got somebody. Who's this? It is. It's Goofy as Darth whatever. I don't know what they're calling him. I'm sure it's not Darth, but Mickey on a motorcycle. Don't know if I remember seeing that before. I mean, I did because I've read all of these, but it was several years ago at this point. Like I said, I need to reread all my Disney stuff. Sandman Mystery Comics, getting that one. And let's see, I think there's more digests still in the box. You guys want more of them? There's several more yet. There's Mickey Mouse Adventures number 9. And this one doesn't feel like it's ever been opened. There's no give to the spine when you open it. It is blunted a little bit on the top, on the back. But yeah, originally $7.95 when it was first published. So good deal. Oh, a little fold over on that corner. So somebody opened it at some point. And looks like there's Mickey and Disney Donald stories in there. So maybe Yeah. Looks like they started doing Donald Duck stories in the middle. They might have done that with the Donald ones too, and put Mickey's in the middle of those. If I remember right, they did stuff like that. So nothing stands out to me in that one, but Sam ain't gonna get that one. Let you know when you get to 10. Okay. That's number 9. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That was 7. So 3 more. And here's Mickey Mouse Adventures number 11. And I forget this little guy's name. It's like Atomic Bebop or something. Did they not do credits on these? Oh, there it is. Scarpa. Okay, yeah, Romano Scarpa did a lot of Mickey's. I guess he was more famous for his Mickey stuff, really, than he was for his Duck stuff. I think, but he did both. It's very much in the style of the later Floyd Gottfredson strips, like from the 50s or so. Tomo Bleep Bleep is the little blue guy's name. That was close. And Donald Duck story. And more Mickey. Looks like it might be a continuation, or it's another story with the same character. A lot of the European stories were done over multiple issues, so they have a lot of like 2 and 3 parters of those stories. All right, that one's going to Sandman. Thanks, Jim. I spent many years studying Disney comics and reading them because I wanted to be a Disney Comics creator. That's what I wanted to be. Like when I was in high school, that was my career goal. Wasn't very feasible, unfortunately. This one's got a cool cover. So this is interesting. I don't know these artists and writers, but it's a story by Dave Rawson, art by Josquin. European story from Denmark, it looks like. But these characters I know because these were in the Floyd Gottfredson strips, this ape and this guy. So this is like a sequel to an old story that Gottfredson did in the newspaper strips. Cool stuff. I forgot how good these were. I'm probably going to keep saying it, but I need to reread this stuff. You got a Donald Duck story. Saw Uncle Scrooge there for a second. And then Mickey Mouse, Mystery of the Old Mansion. Cool. Yeah, that is true. Yeah, a lot of the Europeans were weeklies, so that's why they were able to. They almost needed to do continued stories because they probably didn't have as much space to work with. And then, well, you know, you got a bunch of Mickey Mouse adventures. If you're only going to get one more, let's see what else I got here. I don't know. It looks like it's mostly Mickey Mouse adventures left, but there's a couple of the Uncle Scrooges. Here's the Uncle Scrooge Comics Digest #1 from the original Gladstone run. So see what they put in this one. Got a little tanning around the edge, but it's a nice solid spine. It doesn't feel like it's been opened, so it's kind of weird that it's got that much tanning on it. Looks good. Uncle Scrooge in the Midas Touch. That's Uncle Scrooge 36, Magic of Dispel story. And everything else is by Bob Gregory or Tony Strobel, or they don't know who did it. Beagle Boys. This is from Beagle Boys #1 with Mad Madam Mim, which was always a weird team up. Junior Woodchucks for #6. I think that's one written. That one's written by Carl Barks. Yep. And Uncle Scrooge Rivers of Gold. For a little while, Western Publishing did these weird. For some reason, they started making all of their word balloons square, right? So that's why these are like that. They only did it for a few issues. I know they did a few issues where Mickey Mouse was a spy and all the other characters were more lifelike, and they did that with those issues as well, where the word balloons were square. It's kind of weird reading them and being so used to reading word balloons and then coming across an issue like that. It's a little bit disconcerting when you're reading those. But yeah, yeah, yeah. I think they did. Maybe that's why they were squared them, because they were doing. I don't know if they were doing hand lettering or not. I don't remember good enough. But all right, so this one's going to random. Yes. Scrooge Digest 1. $3. You guys are too nice for auctions. Uncle Scrooge #4. The Comics Digest. Karl Barks cover. And you see, you got Tony Strobel, Karl Barks, Tony Strobel, Jack Manning, Karl Barks with K. Wright art on the Junior Woodchuck story, and then more Tony Strobels. So, other than him writing the Junior Woodchucks, there's only one Karl Barks story in this one. But it's a good one. It's The Sunken City from Uncle Scrooge #5. And remember right, this is where he discovers Atlantis. Yep. And see, story from Beagle Boys #2. This one's got Witch Hazel in it from the Trick or Treat cartoon. And there's the Junior Woodchucks from number 7. And yeah, Tony Strobel stories. They're just, I guess they're okay. Here's the one written by Carl Barks, I think. Tea House of the Wagon Dragon. Sounds like something he would write. Yep. And Sandman's getting that one, and he is done. Wife is taken care of. US. Thank you, Jim. I do have more digests if anybody's interested. I got Mickey Mouse Adventures 2, 8, 12, 4, and 3. So if anybody wants a closer look at those or whatever, we can go through those. Might as well put them in order while I'm looking at them. Alright, thanks Aaron, we'll see you later. Don't forget to take your shotgun. Any more oddball Uncle Scrooge like that giant size? Very possibly. Let me see if there's any more Walt Disney Giants in here. Yes. Yes. There we go. We have Walt Disney Giant number 2. Uncle Scrooge in Arabia with the Mines of King Solomon. And it does have, they were still doing the newsprint covers. I don't remember if they did newsprint covers on all the Giants series. I think they may have. But you got the Mines of King Solomon by Carl Barks. Originally in Uncle Scrooge 19. And then they did, looks like they reprinted, I want to say Little Golden Book, but I don't think it is. It says it's, in 1944, Random House published a full film adaptation of the Three Caballeros. Simon & Schuster released their first little library book, The Cold-Blooded Penguin. So, not a big little book, a little library book, whatever the heck that is. So they reprinted pages from that. Unusual. And then they show the books here. Cool. Random getting that for $3. Thank you. And then there is Walt Disney Giant number 3. And same thing, newsprint cover. And it looks like it reprints the Super Snooper story I was talking about. Yeah. And the reason he's called Super Snooper is because he's disgusted the kids do nothing but read their comic books, right? And that's a Super Snooper comic book. So when he gets superpowers, he's like Super Snooper. So this is the original story by Carl Barks. And then I don't know if they did the Don Rosa story, reprinted the Don Rosa story or not in here. And then you got a Super Goof and Beagle Boys story about that involves comic books as well. The Comic Book Crooks from Beagle Boys 17. Super Elephant. And yeah, then they reprinted the one we just looked at in the other book, the Super Snooper Strikes Again by Don Rosa. So they put the two stories together in a giant, basically. Oh, Hollywood Chatter by Minnie Mouse. This is Minnie Mouse had like a gossip column in Walt Disney Comics' stories back in the 1940s. And so that's what this is, right? Talks about Roddy McDowell and see Spencer Tracy's name in there, stuff like that. Charlie McCarthy, Jane Withers, Bob Hope. And then there's another one, Donald Duck in Mighty Duck. Vic Lockman story from Donald Duck 122. So he must get some kind of superpowers or something in that one as well. Although I don't see anything like that. But kind of fits. Random reads, Rob C. bids above. Oh, they weren't there when I was looking at it before. That was for the last issue? So Random Reads got it for 5 instead of 3. Thank you, guys. And then Vilma's going 4 on Giant number 3. And going to 5 on number 3. Okay. Alrighty. Thank you. Yeah, it wasn't there when I looked at it before. I guess I need to wait a second. Just not expecting anybody to bid anything up really on these. So. All right, pretty sure it's going to Random for 5. Thank you again. Oh, sorry, Ranger. It's a new format. You're gonna have to let me get used to it a little bit. We got one more Walt Disney Giant. This one's number 6, featuring the Junior Woodchucks. 48 pages, front cover by Daniel Branca. And these look like... Yeah, so the Carl Barks stories that he wrote for Junior Woodchucks, but didn't do the art on, Dan Yips started adapting them with new art. So that's what these are. It's Carl Barks stories, but with new art, new better art than what they were producing at the time. Basically, is what it boils down to. And yeah, so they actually have using Pluto in this one as the hound for the junior woodchucks. I think later they got their own hound instead of using Pluto. But Uncle Scrooge is in there too. And then this is just an old Vic Lockman story. Got an article that somebody did this picture of Walt Disney, but apparently they don't really know who or know much about him. And some more articles. And there's a Carl Barks story from Walt Disney Comics and Stories 226. So, oh, there's another Junior Woodchuck story that Dan Yips redid the art on. I was going to say it's weird that they only did one in here, but there we go. See you, Kevin. Thank you, sir. See you tomorrow. So Vilma's probably going to get this one, but we'll wait a second just in case. All right. I'm going to call that one for Vilma number 6. Thank you. And let's see, we got Donald Duck trying to go ice fishing. This is number 253. Reprints a Carl Barks from Walt Disney Comics and Stories 114. One of the rare Donald Duck as a hero. Maybe a reluctant hero, but still comes out a hero at the end of the story. And here's a story from Denmark. And one from Holland. Journey to the Center of the Earth. That was a fun story. I remember reading that. And Vilma's in at $3. All right, so Vilma's gonna get that one as well. Number 253, $3. And there goes my mom again. We'll be back in a moment. Next one up is Donald Duck 254. Oh, it's going to be a long day. All right, here's Donald Duck, number 254 in Old California. Another great Carl Barks reprint. Long adventure story from the Four Colors. This one was from Four Color 328. Kind of a drug use issue if you want to stretch a point. This Donald Duck basically hallucinates and dreams that he's back in old California. But a great story. Oh, thank you, Jim. And hi, Comics Embrace. Nice to see you. So, assume Vilma's taking that one. I don't see any other bids. Number 254. And here's a later one, Donald Duck and Friends, number 321, which basically is still the Donald Duck story. They just retitled it when they came back with it as Gemstone after Disney had a hold of it. That way they could mix it up a little bit and put Mickey Mouse in the middle. So you got Donald Duck, Carl Barks story from Walt Disney's Comics and Stories 40 from a 1944 reprint. If you're into skiing or winter sports, it might be a fun story for you. And then you got Mickey Mouse Part 2 of Werewolf Worries. Goofy turns into a werewolf. That's what's going on there. That's actually Goofy there. So fun stuff. And then another Donald Duck story from Denmark. Looks like a Thanksgiving story, yeah. Thanksgiving. Don't see those stories very often. Gladstone Gander's in there. Grandma Duck. Looks like a fun issue. You see if I got number 320, so if somebody does want it, they can get the first part of that werewolf story. Not in that box. Let me look in the other box. Nope, don't have the first part. Alright, no takers on Goofy as a werewolf. Here's Uncle Scrooge, number 248. This is when Disney was publishing it. I got a story called Captain Doubloon's Parrot. Looks like a European reprint to me. Would have been new to us here in the States. The Disney credits were harder to decipher than the other ones. They didn't do as good a job as Gladstone and Gemstone did with letting you know what was going on. Yeah, it's a Vicar story. That first story. Vilma wants the Donald 321. All right. Yep. And then they got $3 on Uncle Scrooge 248. If anybody else wants to bid, now's the time. All right, it's going to go to Vilma. Next up is Mickey Mouse and Friends, number 293. And a lot of people think that's Goofy on the cover. It's not. It's Horace Horsecollar making a rare cover appearance. It's Mickey Mouse in Immaterial World. Art by Cesar Ferrioli. And I don't really recognize any of the other artists in the credits other than this guy. So, and this was written by Byron Erickson, actually. Who was trying to do updated Mickey stories, basically. I never really cared for them too much, but they were okay. They would do a lot of sci-fi inspired and type stories and things like that to me just didn't quite fit the character, but they were okay. Very similar to the stuff that they put in the Mickey Mouse Digest in these later issues. And Rangers would like the Mickey Mouse and Friends. Thank you, Ranger. And here's a Walt Disney's Comics and Stories, number 554. This was when Disney was publishing. Got the Donald is Rip Van Winkle there. It's a fun cover. And I'm not sure. Oh, it does say it's Carl Barks. That's weird. It's got an odd code on it for it being a Carl Barks story. Disney may have recoded some of the stories, and they didn't include credits like where they were first published. But it says down here in the corner that it was 112. So this was reprinted from Walt Disney's Comics and Stories 112. And sure enough, kids are playing a joke on Donald to make him think he's got a big long beard and he fell asleep and that he's like Rip Van Winkle. So that's where the cover comes from. And it's not a Carl Barks cover, so who did the cover? Rick Hoover did the cover. Very cool. And then you got a Bucky Bug story, which were interesting, but kind of a hard read for me because they did it in rhyme most of the time. Mickey Mouse and the Wonderful Wizards, Chapter 2. Originally printed in Mickey Mouse 4-color, number 427, I believe. And this one's got a crease go running through here, so can't see it on the front, but I saw it in some of the pages. So at some point somebody folded this. Yeah, there it is. I can't see it. It's not real evident, but it's there. With Disney Comic Story 3, do I have the first part? What's this? 554. 152. Oh, nope, that's 555. Hold on. Check the other box. I think those are older ones. I do not have the first part. This. Oh, that cover's not even attached. Yikes. How dare they put it in there so it looks perfect, and it's not even. Never ordering from them again. They do have part 3, but its cover is all torn off. $3 on this one. I'm just gonna give you this one. That's the third part, so you can at least finish reading it. I don't have the first part, but since this one's got the cover falling off, I guess. That's the least I can do. What else? Here's an Uncle Scrooge Adventures with a cool Don Rosa cover. This is number 24. And not by Karl Barks or Don Rosa. This is a Danish story by art is by Vikar. I don't know the artists or the writers, but the art is by Vikar. Oh, another race of little people. That's the Gronins. The little Gronins. And the cover is illustrating this story. Gyro Gear Loose from Uncle Scrooge 13. That's that same one that I was showing you earlier in the digest with Mickey and Morty Fieldmouse in there, I think. And Uncle Scrooge, the Minus de Milo. A lot of words in those word balloons for a Uncle Scrooge story. And that's a Vicar story as well. All right, no takers on the Don Rosa cover. Let's see what we can grab out of the other box. Here's another Don Rosa. This is Uncle Scrooge Adventures, number 14. This has one of my favorite Don Rosa stories in it. His Majesty McDuck, where for tax purposes, Uncle Scrooge decides to declare his money bin on Motor Kill Hill a separate country, so he won't have to pay taxes anymore. It's just a really funny story. The Beagle Boys break in and take over because, and of course, law enforcement can't help him because now he's a separate country. They don't have the jurisdiction to go in and do anything. It's a lot. It's a fun story. I really like that one. And by the way, I have all of these already. That's why these are in the sale. If there had been anything in these that I didn't have, I would have kept it. And I had, out of the 2 complete long boxes, I already had everything that was in here. Here's a Donald Duck Adventures number 14. Mummy cover. So kind of a monster cover, I guess. And this one reprints Donald Duck and the Mummy's Ring. Really early Carl Barks from 4-color number 29. I was just reading a little bit back on the article. I know sometimes they restored panels that were lost for advertising purposes and stuff. And since they had an article here, I wanted to see what they were talking about. Basically, this is the first complete version of Donald Duck and the Mummy's Ring since the original printing in 1946. Or not 1946, but in 46 years, basically. I don't know for sure when it was published, but because three of the pages had been lost or something, so they couldn't reprint it, and they shortened it for advertising in later printings. So this kind of a restored version. And Donald Duck Adventures number 14. The day Gladstone's luck ran out. Oh no. This one's got some spine wear on it. I can see stress marks on the inside here. There's no there's not really any spine ticks there, but I can see stress marks there. Today Gladstone's luck ran out. Yeah, sure enough. Yep, Donald Duck's winning everything. Well, you know that's not going to end well. And oh, there's a loose centerfold in here too. Darn. Darn. I don't think there's any holes in this page. I don't see any holes. I don't think it was ever attached. Huh. I might be able to reattach that. If there's no holes, it's not going to matter if I put the staples in there to make it a complete copy. Let's see. Here is DuckTales number 4. I animated this one a while back. It's got a bend on it on the edge there a little bit. But it's chapter 4 of Scrooge's Quest. Now, when these came out, I didn't enjoy them too much, but it was because they had stopped publishing the DuckTales version that Gladstone was doing to come out with this version. And the Gladstone was basically just reprinting Carl Barks stuff as DuckTales stories. And it was great. And these were a pretty good read, I remember, but I remember disliking them because of that. They basically weren't doing Carl Barks anymore. I would probably like them better if I reread them now as one continuous story in those first 12 issues. Alright, let's see. Walt Disney's Comics and Stories 547. Giant size. Double size fun. Does look like there's some wear on the cover. It's not as nice as some of the other ones. Vilma's going to take the DuckTales number 4. Thank you, Vilma. And $3 on Walt Disney's Comics and Stories. Okay. I said there is some wear here. There's a little bit of dirt or color rub or something going on right there. Some crease over in here a little bit. Just kind of a ding. But it's giant size, so you get double the fun. And there's some kind of printing smudging going on down here on the bottom page. But it has got a Don Rosa drawn story, but it wasn't written by Don Rosa. It's one of those ones he did for, I think, the Gutenbergist group in Holland. And eventually they got around to publishing it here in the United States. Also got Thumper in there from Walt Disney's Comics and Stories 29. That's an early one. That would have been back when Bambi first came out, probably. Winnie the Pooh, one pager. I think that's probably a comic strip reprint. These are some covers that they didn't ever use, that they created, but for one reason or another, they never got used. They started doing this series when they were this is towards the end of their first run when Disney was going to take over, so they started utilizing things like that they maybe had plans for or didn't end up using for one reason or another. Cover didn't quite work for them. At one point, they were going to do a Gummy Bears album, but the project got canceled. Gyro Gearlow's story from 4-color 1047. Gremlin Gus story from Walt Disney's Comics and Stories 41. Little Bad Wolf. Lots of good stuff in here. Mickey Mouse, The Mystery of Diamond Mountain. That's probably the last story since it's a Mickey. Yeah. Oh, nope. There's a Scamp one-pager. Alright. Vilma wants that one too. And like I said before, if anybody wants to looking for anything in particular from this era, I can look and see if it's in here. Here's a Goofy Adventures number 7 with the some kind of Three Musketeers type story. It looks like from Disney Publishing. The Two Musketeers plus one. And a goofy look at railroads. And the Old West Diary of Goofalo Bill. The Goofalo Bill was originally published in 1990 in the Topolino 1791, so that would have been in Italy, I believe. And Vilma wants that one too. Goofy number 7. Leave it up there for a second in case somebody else wants it. All right, gonna give that one to Vilma as well. And we got Mickey Mouse Adventures number 2. Riddle of the Runaway Sphinx. Also from Disney Publishing. Little bit of crease marks in the spine there. Kind of tanned along the edge. But yeah, this is definitely the guy that did Amazing Man. Written by Michael T. Gilbert, penciled by Stephen DiStefano, inked by Gary Martin. And this was pretty good. I remember actually really liking the first one. The second one was good too, but the first one was really incredible. They brought back Double X and Triple X or something like that, whatever their names are, I forget. And then they did reprints as the backup. They didn't have original stuff throughout, but they usually tried to do some kind of story that would tie into, at least theme-wise, what was going on in the lead story. And little article in the back that the editor wrote. Cool. All right, here's Donald Duck in the Land of the Totem Poles. Double size issue number 278. Another great Carl Barks classic. And, oh, this one's, what the heck is this? Some kind of thing going on there with that first page. I don't know if that's error in printing or if that's rub off from something else or what that is. I don't know. Looks like there's a pattern to it, but it's not it's not from this. It's something else. That's too bad. It's really kind of marring up that first page. Now it's got it on here too. So it's, yeah, something in the printing process that was going on every once in a while. I've seen Charlton books like that, where every so many pages it had some kind of problem in the printing. A little Don Rosa art in there too. I think that's another one of those where they didn't he didn't do the writing, he just did the art. And another Carl Barks from Walt Disney Comics and Stories 237, a later one, but they did a cover for it that they didn't use. That's why this is double sized. They were using up the inventory they had bought before Disney would take over. So all their issues went double sized towards the end of their first series. Alright, well, good stories in that, but oh, Vilma wants it. Okay. Vilma, if you don't want it because of that printing thing, just let me know. That's alright. But it's so good reading. Lots of Donald Duck. Here's Mickey Mouse, number 236. Reprinting Pluto the Racer from the comic strips. This is chapter 2 from 1935. These stories were originally printed. And it has to do with horse racing and rigging the race, and I think drugging the horse so it can't run and stuff like that. And some Sunday pages printed in there too, looks like. These were funny. I remember those being really hilarious. All right, Vilma, thank you. And let's see, here's a Donald Duck with Goofy on the cover. This is Donald Duck 276. So that's a team up you didn't see very often in the comics. Mickey and Goofy, well, one of them's trying to fish. It does have a curve to it. Needs a press. A couple spine ticks in there. But first story is Carl Barks. Like I said, they didn't really do a duck issue that didn't have at least a little Carl Barks in it. Grandma Duck from Holland. Little article about El Taliaferro's Donald Duck strips, because they were going to start collecting those in books. I think they did one book. This story is from Denmark. And this story is from Denmark. All right. Vilma is going for $3 on 276. Anybody else? Well, we got so that one's going to Vilma. We got Uncle Scrooge Adventures number 28 up next. Another Don Rosa cover illustrating a Karl Barks story. Great story. 64-page giant, this one is. And it reprints Land Beneath the Ground from Uncle Scrooge 13, which is what the cover is illustrating. Another race of little people. This one are basically rocks. The Terrys and the Fermies. If you read this, you will understand where earthquakes come from. I think they did. They did a DuckTales episode with them in it. And then there's a backup story called The Man from Ula Ula. And it looks like Romana Scarpa, yeah. Vilma's in for $3. Giant size issue. And got an old Beagle Boy story. Oh, wait a minute. This has a new code on it for it being a new story. Must be an old Vic Lockman story from inventory that had never been printed or something. Oh, no, he did. Come to think of it, I think he did do a couple stories for Gladstone. If I remember right. So that's one of those. All right, nobody else, so it's going to go to Vilma for $3. And let me see. What's next? Another 64-pager. This is Walt Disney's Comics and Stories 574. Passport to Disneyland Adventures. Free Duckburg map piece number 8 of 9, plus a Pinocchio feature. So this one's got something going on. Not in bad shape, but just kind of general fold over, it looks like. Kind of, I don't know, something going on up here at the top a little bit. But you got a Donald Duck mastering the Matterhorn. So this was originally printed in Vacation in Disneyland, 4-color, 1025. And in those stories, they kind of set those stories up just the same way they did like the family album stories, where it would show the characters going to Disneyland and they would split up. And then they would just go to stories that kind of match the theme of whatever attraction they were going on or whatever land they were going to, but not really taking place in Disneyland. So in this story, it starts off with them, they're going to climb the Matterhorn because the Matterhorn's at Disneyland, right? So, and that's all it is. It's not the ride. They're just trying to climb the Matterhorn. So it was a little bit of an odd mishmash of stuff, but this is done by Karl Barks. So, fun story. And then this looks like a William Van Horn, Donald Duck. I don't know where the credits are. They're not in the front. They're not in the back. They're in the middle somewhere, but this looks like William Van Horn. Little Bad Wolf Story. Hey, Steve. A Goofy Look at Games. And there, oh, they did the Pinocchio from the comic strips. That's cool. Great art in those. When they did reprinted the classic comics. Though they didn't reprint them, but they, when they made those for the comic strips, I mean, look at the art. This was a comic strip. Now comic strips are what? You're lucky if you get 3 panels. Great stuff. And then this is the map page that they promised on the cover. And basically, they reprinted like one section of the map in each book that they were publishing. And then you had basically a map of Duckburg, kind of like a big poster, if you were to actually rip them out and put them together. I've never actually seen an issue where it had been removed, so I don't think anybody did that. Pinocchio, some more Pinocchio, finishing the story. And then they got a Mr. Smee backup. This was originally from Peter Pan Treasure Chest #1, which was a Dell Giant, I believe. And Mickey Mouse, The Mystery of the Robot Army. That's also done from comic strips, I think. Doesn't look like comic strips. It looks like they took the comic strip story and adapted it. I know they did that some of the time. So, anyway, fun stuff. Ranger slides in for $3. Thank you, Ranger. Yeah. I mean, I've been saying for weeks that the auction's Saturday and Sunday, so I don't know what to tell you. And let's see what else we can get here. DuckTales #9. Launchpad McQuack on the cover. Had to think about it to figure out what his name was. Terror at the Top of the World, Chapter 1 of the Gold Odyssey. This is #9, so I'm wrong about that first story going 9 or 12 issues. It must have only went 8, because this is the first chapter of a new story called The Gold Odyssey. And if you like the DuckTales TV show, the original, you'll like these. These are fun. They're based on that. They're basically just new adventures and pretty much just like the cartoon. Lots of fun. Great art on this one, too. Ruh-roh. Art by Cosme Cortieri, Robert Batt, and Carlos Valenti. It says here. right, here's Mickey and Donald, number 2 from 1988. I believe that's a reprinted cover. Not mistaken. Yeah, this was by Walt Kelly cover. So, Walt Kelly of Pogo fame. Isn't that great? Very cool. And you got Mickey Mouse story from number Mickey Mouse 64. Got a Donald Duck comic strip over here, just filling in some space. Van Horn story, Donald Duck in a sound deal. Very, I liked Van Horn's, but I always had to be in the right mood to appreciate the comedy. And it's very silly. I think this is, I'm not sure what this Mickey Mouse is. Gotta look that one up. I want to say it's comic strips, but I'm not sure. Story and art by Dan Yips, so I guess not. And Donald Duck by Karl Barks. All right, well, we're going to have to get through some of these books, so I'm just going to start showing some. And if it's something you're interested in, shout it out. Let me know, and we'll run it. Because otherwise, I'm never going to get through even a quarter of these books the way we're going. So, here's Donald Duck number 257. It's a giant thick issue. Looks like it reprints Vacation Parade, which is a really good Donald Duck story. I should show you at least a couple panels of this one because it is very... and Donald Duck actually is the hero of the story. He saves the nephews from a wildfire. And it's good stuff. It's a good story. But it's got a lot of nature type scenes artwork in it by Karl Barks. It's a good read. So yeah, Donald Duck 257, Donald Duck 258, 259. Any more Disney Comics era Walt Disney Comics and stories? Oh, definitely. Disney era. So Disney Publishing. Oh. Try to pick it up too many at a time. They're slippery when everything's in bags. And these are all new bags and boards, by the way, too. Not from me, but from the people that I got them from. These were all new bags and boards. So yeah, these are basically all Disney era, Disney Publishing, Walt Disney Comics and stories right here. So we'll go through some of those. We got number 550. Anniversary issue. It's got a wraparound cover on it. Actually animated this one and put it out yesterday. You got Goofy, the three little pigs, Bucky Bug down here, Chip and Dale down here, Winnie the Pooh's even in there. So, fun cover. So yeah, good stuff in here. Carl Barks, Little Bad Wolf, Scamp, Chip and Dale, Gyro Gear Loose, by Victor Arriagado Rios. So foreign reprint. Brer Rabbit, and first chapter of Goofy's Mechanical Wizard by Dick Moores, which is this story here. Trying to get it back in the bag. The back cover wants to fold over. There we go. All right, so can you tell me which issue I bought so far so I don't buy doubles? I don't think I have any doubles hardly at all in this collection. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure that there won't be any. But if there is, I'll figure it out later. That's one of the reasons I'm starting to keep track this way, with just writing everybody down on their own pad of paper so that I have a better idea of what people have bought. And so I'll be able to help with that more, I believe. All right, nobody else wants the anniversary issue. Go into a Ranger. Thank you, sir. Here is the next issue, 551. So this should have the second part of that Dick Moore story in it. And got The Hard Loser by Carl Barks. Early Carl Barks. Little Bad Wolf in the middle. Wow, that's a really elaborate art for a Big Bad Wolf story. That's cool. And Grandma Duck, one pager with Gus Goose. And chapter 2 of Goofy's Mechanical Wizard by Dick Morse. So that's cool. And it is to be continued yet again. So 551. That looks like a William Van Horn cover to me too, advertising that. So that's cool. Yep. Yeah, I hated that when I especially didn't like it when they did it like in the anniversary issue, because there's room in there to do the whole story. They just filled it up with other stuff first. But I do have the next issue as well, so let me put this on Ranger's pile. This is number 552, and it looks like they got another Carl Barks story in here that they commissioned a new cover for. This is, yeah, wow, that's early Carl Barks as well. Yeah, it doesn't say where it's from. The Disney Disney Comics wasn't very good about that. Oh, this might have been the General Mills giveaway. Yeah, I'm not sure. It doesn't tell it exactly. But anyway, it is Carl Barks. No, that's too long for the giveaway. I don't remember what that's from. And you got Bucky Bug. And Chip and Dale. And Goofy's Mechanical Wizard, Chapter 3. See if it concludes this issue. I don't think it does. Oh, it does. Yep. So, at least it's only went 3 issues. All right, and then yeah, that one's for $5.52. They do have some credits. They're just not as elaborate. Like it'll tell you who did the stories, but not where they're from. So, but I mean, it's not that hard to find out. All you gotta do is go on Grand Comics database and look it up, or one of the Disney sites that have all the Disney sites, all the Disney comics, on there. And let's see, that was what, 550 something. This is 556, so we may have jumped a couple issues. But it's a Christmas cover. Donald Saves Christmas. And it looks like this one is from Denmark for the story. Anyway. And not in the greatest shape. It wants to, there's a bend to it. The cover opened up really, really easily. But I don't think there's any split on there. At least not yet. But it's getting there. Buggy Bug. Also a Christmas story, so at least they got the theme going. And Mickey Mouse at the Rodeo. See, this is another one. I want to say those are from a giveaway. Like the General Mills giveaways or something, but it seems like they're too elaborate and long for that. So maybe not. Yeah, it doesn't tell in the credits either. $5.56. Ranger's getting that one for $3. It is a Christmas cover. If anybody else wants to take a shot at it. And we'll get to Walt Disney's Comics and Stories, $5.57. From 1991. And this is a Carl Barks story. This is the one where Donald Duck has become a singer. The Screaming Cowboy is the song he wrote. And you got Ludwig von Drake and Water, Water Everywhere. Gyro Gear Loose, Mickey Mouse, and the Pharaoh's Curse. See, this is done in the same style as that last one. This is not a comic book style. This is something else. Maybe these were giveaways. Yep. They finally got around to telling us. This is the Wheaties Cereal Premium from 1950. This story is. So those other two stories are probably stories from that series too, because I know there was a series of giveaways um, that they did. So that's what those are. And yeah, I don't think they've ever been printed anywhere else. All right, so he bid on 556, right? He's bidding on 557. Yeah, I was just thinking I can start going through them. I kind of wanted to see if I was right about those being the serial premiums or not. Yeah, you got it. I mean, nobody else is bidding, so you know. So we got 558. Got Bucky Bug in there according to the cover. I'm sure there's other rarities in these as well. I don't know if they continued doing the. I don't know how long they continued doing the serial premiums, but those are cool. Oh no, they don't have one in this one unless they. Yeah, so you got Carl Barks, later Carl Barks, and then Mickey Mouse in Castaways of Whale Bay. So they did a few of them. I'll take the whole pile of Walt Disney Comics' stories if no one else wants them. Okay. Uh, Anybody else interested in the Disney era Walt Disney Comics and stories? I'm just going to run through them real quick. If you see anything that you'd be interested in, let me know. If you want to bid more than $3, so you got 558, 559, 560, 561, 562, and 563. The comic archive started in this one. I know they used to show some rare stuff in there. They would show um, early Carl Barks art when he used to do stuff for adult magazines back in the day. But these were, I mean, they're so tame that now they can be printed in a Disney comic. Basically, that's what these are. So this is Carl Barks artwork from a magazine called the Calgary Eye Opener that ran from 1929 to 1934 that Carl Barks used to do some illustrating for. So those are cool. Okay, hold on, guys. Was 553. I don't think there was a 553, was there? Or did I just lay it down here? I didn't have 553. I don't think. The last one, 566, yeah. Ranger got 550 to 552, then 556, 557. I don't think there was the 563 was in there. 563, okay. So 563 would be this one that I just was looking at. Okay, so Ranger Vilma's at $4 on this issue. Did you want to have him let him have it at 4? $5. Okay. So 563 is going to Ranger for 5. And then we had these ones. 558, 59, 60, 61, 62. Ranger basically bid $3 on each one. If you want to try and take a shot at any of those. Let Ranger have them. Thank you. Okay, so these are the ones he actually bid on. 5, 58, 59, 60, 61. And then we have 562. Carl Barks story, 3 Dirty Little Ducks, and then some more comics archives, and obviously Mickey's in there as well. And then we jump to 565. William Van Horn cover. I think he kind of became their cover artist here for a little bit. 566. I'm pretty sure there's a Carl Barks 10 pagers in each one of these, and then some other stuff. So 567. And then 569, a New Year's cover. Wait a second. I'm not really checking condition on these, so it looks like this one might be loose. If I don't open them and check, yeah, this one's actually torn off. So, bummer. Hopefully, let me check these others. I mean, they look good in the bags, but I keep running across that. That's like the second or third time we run across something like that. So, let me just make sure on each one, I guess, that they're okay. The centerfold's not loose or anything stupid. All right, this one's all there, but there is a split at the top. This is number 567. And this one seems like it's okay, but it's got a roll to it on the back, like somebody folded it back over. You can see it there. Oh, so yeah, 569. Yeah. I'll actually, Vilma, I'm gonna throw this one in your box just because you were nice enough to go ahead and let Ranger grab those. So we'll stick that one in your box for free. Hopefully, there's not too many in like that in these boxes, or I'm gonna lose my shirt on these. And retracted on the rolled one as well. Okay. So if anybody wants 566, Ranger doesn't want that one. It's got a roll, but it is all there. It's all connected. And Vilma's going to get that one. Thank you. All right. And then there is 570, Valentine's Day issue. Special Valentine's centerfold. And yeah, the huge spine split on this one. Cover is almost completely off of there. Man. Carl Barks story from Walt Disney Comics and Stories. See what the Valentine said. Oh, so there's a poster. Mickey's in love. Minnie is too. Happy St. Valentine's Day to you. From Disney Comics. Cool. I'd forgotten about that. Too bad that's got that huge spine split in it. And Vilma still wants it for anyway. Thank you, Vilma. Yeah, it's a bumming me out too. I thought these were in really nice shape because they look so great in the bags, but they were certainly sold to me as being in really nice shape. Walt Disney's Comics and Stories, number 571, 64 pager. According to the cover art up here, it looks like there's some Alice in Wonderland in this one. Donald Duck. It is connected. It's all there. Oh, it's got the Donald Duck in the Atom Bomb cereal giveaway. Cheerios, I think that was in. Or Carl Barks. Rare Carl Barks. And yeah, on Birthday Party with Alice from 4-color 341. So that's cool stuff. And here's a rare one, Bubbles the Water Baby. From Peter Pan Treasure Chest number 1. So these are the Peter Pan mermaids. It's cool when the comics could just take some little minor thing like that and actually make something out of it, you know. Mickey Mouse and the Electro Box, reprinted for number 54, but it's chapter 4, so it's, you know, who knows. And it's continued even further than that, so. Nice little article in here about the Disney Legends Awards ceremony where Carl Barks was made a Disney legend by Michael Eisner. Julie Andrews on stage there as well. Ken Anderson, Sterling Holloway, Fess Parker. Oh, that's Fess Parker over there. Okay. Cool. All right. So Rangers is going to get that one unless somebody wants to go to 4. And then we have number 572. Let me see what's going on with this one. All there. But it's got this weird... Oh, it is split. Man, it didn't even look like it was. It's split at the top somewhat. Down to about here. I don't know if you can see it in there. And then there's this weird printing crease or something going through that page. Got the map piece. And another chapter of the Electro box. That's the last chapter. This was number 5, so they did it in 5 chapters. So Rangers getting 571. And 572's got a spine split to about this much of it if anybody else wants that one. 573. It's not split. Oh, I take it back. It is split. Dang. What happened to these? It's split on the bottom just a little, like to about this much. I was looking at the top. You can't really see it in the front. You got to open the back to see it. Frustration. I saw Ludwig von Drake in here. Duckburg map. Goofy. Mickey Mouse. Here's another 64-page one. This is 575. Let's see what's going on with the spine. All right. Yeah. Man, it just split just as I did that. These are... Man, they must not have been very good quality or something. All right. Giant issue. Donald Duck at the Olympics. Big Bad Wolf. Bucky Bug. Pinocchio. Mickey Mouse. Comic strip reprints. Peter and the Wolf from Make Mine Music. That's cool. And Mickey Mouse Mystery of the Robot Army. I don't know. I mean, I could get my old issues out and see if they're splitting. I don't know why they're like that. If they were, maybe they were like in the heat, stored in the heat. You know, whoever had them certainly didn't sell them to me as being that damaged. So, but if they had had them in a warehouse for several years or something in the heat, maybe that's just what happens. I have seen Marvel comics like that. This is number 576, and it's not split. Got Carl Barks, Donald Duck, some more Pinocchio, Goofy, a look at bicycles, Little Bad Wolf, Bucky Bug. They pretty much crammed as much as they could into these bigger issues. Uncle Remus, Brer Rabbit, nice. Man, the art on this is just incredible. And Mickey Mouse in the Robot Army. Again, I don't know what chapter it is. They're not listing it as chapters. Maybe they do in the credits. Nope. Yeah, Disney was really bad at that kind of stuff. So that one's not split. Just saying. Here's 577. And that's not split either. 133 is when it was reprinted from Walt Disney Comics and Stories. 133. Huey, Dewey, and Louie try to skip school. A goofy look at the house. Okay. Mickey Mouse, Mystery of the Robot Army. That was the last chapter of that. And we got 578. 579. 64 page, 580. 581. And 585. And if you're interested in any, let me know. I'll take a closer look and see, what the condition is. And here's the first one, number 548, when Disney first took over from Gladstone. So this was the first Disney produced issue. Spine seems fine. Donald Duck, home is the hero. Brer Rabbit. Little Bad Wolf. And Grandma Duck. That's a surprise. I remember being disappointed because of that. It didn't have a Mickey Mouse story in it. I was like, what the heck? They didn't put Mickey Mouse in Walt Disney Comics and Stories? That's actually one of the things that made me not like the fact that they were publishing them themselves. I was just like, what? No Mickey Mouse? Alrighty. Well, let's see. We got Uncle Scrooge Adventures number 13. Don Rosa space cover. That's pretty cool. And this is the Gladstone one, so we haven't seen any spine problems from those. The Disney ones did have a different type of cover. Seemed like they were a little bit thicker. Maybe they just split easier as they age or something. I don't know. This is reprints Carl Barks 24 Karat Moon from Uncle Scrooge 24. Basically a space race story with because there's this moon that's been discovered that's made out of gold. So Uncle Scrooge is racing these other teams to try and get it, including the Beagle Boys. Looks the backup story is pretty cool with the art from Gutenberg's group. So I don't know who the artist is. A lot of times they would just credit the company and not the artist when they didn't know who did it. All right, Uncle Scrooge Adventures number 3 from 1988. Another Gladstone cover, so it shouldn't be any spine splitting or anything like that going on. Mystery of Easter Island. Yeah, they didn't credit Gutenberg's group again instead of an artist. So, out of Denmark. That's all I know. Oh, I remember this. I remember that kid. This was a pretty good story. And later, Carl Barks story, Bongo on the Congo from Uncle Scrooge 33. Fun stuff. Yeah, I kind of remember something like that too, Graphic Man, where they weren't allowed, basically, even if they knew who had done the art, they weren't really allowed to say or something. Kind of weird. If you like John Byrne art, here's Mickey Mouse Adventures number 8. And that is indeed a John Byrne cover. And this is a Disney issue, but I'm not seeing any spine splitting going on. See if I can find the credits here. Yeah, art by John Byrne, but he didn't do the story art. Stefan DeStefano and Gary Martin did the art. And of course, Stefan is a wonderful artist. I really have enjoyed his style on what he's worked on. Got a unique look to it. But if you like John Byrne, I don't know where you're going to find another John Byrne cover where he did Mickey Mouse. So. And it's a cool cover. All those phantom blots. We got Donald Duck number 266. Yeah, another Gutenbergish group accredited for this one. There is a Karl Barks story towards the back. All right, I'm just going to start running through them. And, you know, if you want to take a closer look at something, let me know. Otherwise, we're going to be here all night. Donald Duck 260. Donald Duck 261. 262 with Donald's cousin Gus. 263. 265. 268. 269. 271. And again, there weren't really any condition issues with the Gladstone ones. It was just the Disney era ones that were having this problems with the spine. So 272, 273, 274, 275, 277, giant size 279. I think that might have been the last one that Gladstone did before Disney took over. Not sure. This one's 280. This is from the second time they started. This was the first issue that they started with when they took it back from Disney. Uh, 261, 262, 263. Got a Don Rosa Olympic story in there. Don Rosa did all these illustrations were taken from the story that's in there, and then he didn't do that Donald Duck, but I don't remember who did. That looks like El Taliaferro to me, but it may not be. Let me look. Yeah. So they took an old El Taliaferro pose, and they have some of his comic strips in here as well, so that's appropriate. And then they put the Don Rosa illustrations behind it, so they created a pretty cool cover out of it. Nice Don Rosa story in here too. And Diabetic Superman's back for, what was it, 279? Double-sized one? Yep. Let me just double-check condition on it here, since we hadn't opened it. And yeah, it's fine. Let's see what's in this one. Maharaja Donald from March of Comics number 4. Nice grab. And Romano Scarpa story from 1956. Good stuff. All right, Diabetic Superman. Where's your pile? Here it is. Thank you. really thought the Don Rosa stuff would be more popular, but oh well. There's 284, 285. Double size Happy Birthday Donald, 286, 64-page giant celebrating Donald's birthday. 287, 288, 290. Let me see if this is a wraparound cover. It looks like it might be. Nope, I was wrong. But it's got Mickey putting out Donald Duck's birthday cake. That's pretty cool. And there's a Don Rosa story in here for Donald's birthday, which is very cool. Oh, I forgot about that story. This does have like a printing error in the folding of this page. There's like a crease going through it. But it's not a crease where somebody bent it. It's like one of the things where the paper in the printing process didn't do right or something. Oh, that's not the story I was thinking it was. That's just comic strips. Okay. This one was the one I was looking at. Secret of Mars. This is a Italian story from 1938. Very interesting read and unusual. And the whole issue has a framing sequence by William Van Horn, celebrating Donald's birthday as they tell the stories. It's very cool. Diabetic Superman's wants number 286. Anybody else wants to grab it? Let me know. And again, if there's any titles, numbers that you're looking for, I mean, I've got a lot of the stuff from Gladstone, Disney, and some things from the Gemstone era. If anybody's looking for a particular issue, you can take a closer look at it, or certain title that you need issues from, whatever. We've got Donald Duck 294. 298. This is one of those with the newsprint covers, where they didn't do the slick covers for a while to hold back prices. Number 299. Kind of done similar as that other style cover that we were talking about. 301. These are all newsprint covers, and then they went back to the slit covers. This is number 303. And then some Gemstone issues. 309, Donald Duck and Friends. 310. 311. 312. And I'm just gonna got about half a box to show yet, so I'm just gonna go through these boxes, and then we'll probably call it quits and show the rest of them tomorrow. But so if there is anything, shout them out. Let me know. There's an Easter cover, Donald Duck 314. Number 315. He's fishing again. If you know somebody that likes cats. 316. This is kind of a cool space adventure one, it looks like. I kind of remember this girl. Number 317. 318. 319. 323. 324. I don't know if you'd consider that a Valentine's issue or not. Probably is meant for that. 325. 326. 327. 328. 3 for the cat cover. There it is. And then there was 330 in that stack. So again, let me just check for damage, since we've been coming across hidden damage that we didn't know about. But most of it was in the Disney issues. This seems fine. Not seeing any problems here. Donald Duck, Snooper by the book. I need to go back and reread all this stuff, because a lot of the foreign reprints, if it wasn't Karl Barks or Floyd Gottfredson at the time, I just didn't have that much of an appreciation for it. And I know if I go back and read them, I'm going to enjoy them again. All right, now let's go into Diabetic Superman. Thank you. And a lot of Donald Duck. Here is number 331, 333, 335, 336, 337. Another Easter cover. This is 338. It's got a Karl Barks story in there. 339, Donald Duck in Ancient Persia, classic Karl Barks. Great cover. 340, 341, 342, and here's a great William Van Horn cover, 343. It's funny. And nice adventure cover, Pawns of the Loup-Garou. And 345, the nephews have rigged up a trap to catch Uncle Donald robbing their piggy bank. And we're just about done with the Donald Ducks, I think. One more, it looks like. So I'll go ahead and stick it on this stack. Number 346. And I believe that's barely a Christmas cover, because he's got like holly across here. And he does have wrapped presents, but we've got Mickey and Donald, number 3, an Infinity cover. It does have a rolled spine and some ticks on the spine on that. Here's number 4, Fun Circus cover. Number 5. And then we get into the classic Floyd Gottfredson Mickey Mouse issues. Number 224. It's reprinting a lot of the stories from the 30s and 40s comic strips. 229. 235. 242. 243. 246. And 247. And Vilma wants Mickey 4 and Mickey and Donald 4 and 5. So let me just check those for you real quick. Looks good to me. It's not really a cover roll, but it was basically printed oddly. I guess there's a little bit of a cover roll on this one. Mickey Mouse, Man of Tomorrow, with reprinting some of the Iga Biva comic strips from the 40s or 50s. Mickey and Donald Sunday page from the Mickey Mouse comic strip. And then Donald the Carl Barks story in the back, so that's cool. One before 4 is number 3, I believe. And number 5 has The Spirited Drizzlepuss from Mickey Mouse 81. That was kind of a fun story. I remember that one. Old Carl Barks 10-pager in the back. And some Mickey Mouse and Donald Duck Sunday pages in the middle. So nice lineup in that one. And number 3 as well. So let me check that. And this is an auction, so you can go higher if you want to. If anybody wants to bid up on number 3, it does have a little bit of a spine roll on it, but it's not split or anything. Also part of the Man of Tomorrow Iga Biva strips, Carl Barks 10-pager. And yeah, good stuff. Let me actually 1, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 23, 24. Yeah, it's all there. I wanted to double check because there wasn't any middle story. There was the Mickey strips and then the Donald Duck 10-pagers. So wanted to make sure it wasn't missing any pages. So now who knows what's going to happen, right? Who knows what we'll run across. So Mickey and Donald, number 3, 4, and 5 for Vilma. Thank you. And we get these out. And we'll continue with the Mickey Mouses. 248. Number 250. 253. Double size 255. And some of the Disney era ones. You got Mickey Mouse Adventures number 6. Number 7. Number 15. 17. Oh, I animated that one this week too. And then they went back to Mickey Mouse's normal numbering with Mickey Mouse and Friends number 259 when Gemstone started publishing again. Number 260, 261, 262, and 263. Diabetic Superman wants 255. The double size. Okay. What a bang for your buck. Alright, a couple little cover dents over here. It's curved a little bit. You can see how it's kind of sitting there. But it's still attached and so forth. Just needs a press a little bit. Reprints the what's considered a classic by some, Romana Scarpa's story Kali's Nail from Italy, which was a good read. And I think that's most of the issue, honestly. Oh, they did an index of the Walt Disney Comics and Stories and Mickey Mouse serials. Okay. And some really early comic strips. Wow. 1931. Before Superman, Mickey Mouse comics. Cool. Alright, so Diabetic Superman gets this one. Thank you. And Vilma wants 261, 260, 263. So these three. And pretty sure there's not going to be any condition issues on these. But these were a little bit later. Pages are nice and white too. So yeah, looking good there. Looks like there's some kind of series of soccer stories in these. I kind of remember those. Yeah, these are in nice shape. My mom has called me about 4 times in 5 seconds just now, so let me get these written down again. 261, 262, 263. And I will be back in a moment, hopefully. And there is some more Mickey Mouse. Here's number 264 and 265. I'll be back as quick as I can. All right, sorry about that, guys. We've been going a long time anyway, so I'm gonna go through these last few issues here and then call it quits for the day. My mom's I gotta go do something for my mom. Her chair has stopped working. Had to get her out past the footstool because it won't close back down again. So I gotta go work on that. We got Mickey Mouse 265, 266, 267, 268. Oh, there's a cool one. 269, 270, 273, and 274. And I animated that one this week too. So, let's see what damages we got here. We got Vilma. And no need to pay today, because unless you're not coming back tomorrow, we will be back at noon tomorrow doing the rest of them and see what we can come up with. And if you're looking for something to do tonight, I believe Ranger Comics is doing a giveaway tonight because he's reached, I think, 300 subscribers. He's doing a giveaway tonight. Sorry, I'm just trying to pull up the calculator on my phone here. There we go. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, free one, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20 issues at $3 a piece. That's $60, Vilma. That's where you're at. Diabetic Superman's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 issues at $3. $39. Sandman, he had 10 issues. He already paid. Thank you. Ranger, let's see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, free 1, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19 at $3. Plus a $6 issue and a $5 issue. So that's $68. Thank you. And random reads, 2 at 5 and then 3. So 5, 10, no, $19. So thanks everybody. Sorry to call it short. I was hoping to get through at least one of the boxes today, but well, we probably did basically with the stuff that I pulled from the other box, or very close. But yeah, I'll be back tomorrow at 12 noon. Hope to see you then. Stay safe and appreciate you being here. And I will see you later. Gotta go take care of Mom.
Quacktastics on the scene, strutting in line. Ooh, yeah. Feathers sharp like blades, they really divine. Hey, hey. Sniffing up those comics, hunting all day. Quack, quack. Cheap thrills and chill vibes, can you dig it, baby? Ooh, yeah. Flap, 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 Quacktastics. Here we go. Hey. Comics in their beaks, time to steal the show. Ooh, yeah. Cheap claim sales never stood a chance, oh no. With the Quacktastics groove, they're on a roll. Hey, oh, ducks in disco suits, man, they slick as ice. Snapping so nice.